Rave by Francesca Leah Block. Part 1. Her name was Raven, but I always called her Rave. The thing about her was that no matter what anyone said, they knew that she was way beyond them. I was just the only one who would admit it. There are a lot of babes at our school, but there is no one who even came close to her. She had a face and body like some rare French model. Also, she dressed so cool. Really high shoes, those stockings that stop just at the top of the thigh, really short skirts. Her stuff must have cost someone a fortune, or a lot of someone's. Every morning, a limo would drop her off. Tinted windows, the whole thing. She'd slide out wearing her shades and walk past the stairs like she was on a runway. I knew by looking at her that she felt like shit about it, though. They all thought she was a freak. I know about being a freak. When I was a kid, my mom got me into this all-kid rock band. I sang, and these other kids played instruments. We were supposed to be a family. But of course, it was just this big publicity stunt. We had to do really lame songs. I was only 8, but I sang love songs written for a man. I hated it, but my mom wouldn't let me quit. I made her a fortune, and she spent the whole fucking thing by the time I was 13. It was so sick. I would never put a kid through that. And then they grow up and aren't perfect-looking babies anymore, and they really feel like shit. People used to recognize me all the time. They'd think because they'd seen me on TV that they could come up to me and touch me, ask me all this personal stuff about myself, ask for pieces of my hair. It was so weird. Now, no one recognizes me. I don't look anything like I used to. My mom would kill me if she knew how much pot I smoke and the cigarettes and the drinking. Not because she cares about my health, but she'd say that explains why I'm not pretty enough for her to exploit anymore. Actually, one person recognized me from my band days, and that was Rave. That was how we met. She came up to me in the quad where I was drawing by myself at lunch, and she goes, "Weren't you in the Lamb Family?" She didn't mention our stupid hit song that I've been hearing my whole life. She looked almost shy, which surprised me. I remember she was wearing this purple outfit, and her black hair almost had a purplish shade to it. I wished I could paint her. I kind of shrugged, and she said, "I could tell by your eyes. I had the biggest crush on you when I was a kid." I hadn't heard a girl say that for a long time. I used to hate it, but she sounded sweet and almost sad when she said kid, like it was so long ago. Then she tossed her hair, put on that tough mouth again like she didn't want anyone to get too close. So I said, "Don't tell anyone. I don't want to get hounded by autograph seekers." We both laughed for no reason, and I could tell she felt better. She took off her sunglasses, and she really did look like a little girl to me for the first time. We were both freaks. She was, because she was a super groupie who went to concerts and hung out and slept with rock stars who bought her clothes and sent her home in limos. I was, because I used to be this little singer, and now no one remembers. And if they did, they'd say, "Oh, what happened to him? He used to be so cute." And what it did to me was it made me not a kid either, like Rave. Neither of us ever felt like kids, except together, which was why we hung out so much. Usually we went to her apartment because her mom was never home. We'd listen to music as loud as it would go and get high and raid the refrigerator, which usually meant we ate those plastic cheese slices on white bread with mayo or ice cream, and always Diet Coke because it was the only soda her mom would buy. Sometimes we mixed some rum in with it. We goofed, watched TV, messed around with her Ouija board. Once, I asked it a question without telling her what it was, and it scooted over to no the fastest it ever had. Sometimes I sketched her, but they never did her justice. She liked them, though. She put them up on her wall next to the signed posters of all these rock gods and the photos of her with them. I'd look at them and inhale the smoke from the joint really hard. The men on her walls were tall, with bulging tight pants and big lips and teeth and long hair all backlit. Maybe I would have turned into one of them if I'd stayed in the business. I wanted to tell Rave to stop screwing around with these assholes that were using her, but I didn't want to sound like I was trying to control her. That was one thing she liked about me, that I left her alone about it. She wouldn't have listened to me anyway. When she talked about them, she got this look in her eyes, the same look she'd get when she was letting the little plastic pointer thing skid along the surface of the Ouija board. She was totally in a trance, transfixed. She looked even more beautiful then. I saw what the rock stars saw. She wasn't some little girl. She was this goddess, or this fairy princess, this gorgeous alien super freak. They thought, and she thought, that her beauty was because of them, that she was reflecting them back to them. But I knew that she was the one. The beauty was hers. She gave it to them. She animated them with it. I wish I had been able to tell her. I guess I did once. It was Rave's birthday. She had this big gig that night. She called them her gigs, like she was playing, but it meant she was going to hang out until the lead singer took her home. But that day, I asked her if she wanted to do something with me. It was early June. School was almost out. We ditched and took a bus to the beach. I liked to lie there and bake like I could shed my old self in the sun like a snake. Rave didn't go to the beach. She was into really white skin, but she wanted to go with me that day. When we got there, she asked me to rub some lotion on her. Her skin felt like some kind of material you'd make a girl's dress out of, or like some flower or fruit, but nothing I'd ever touched. Much softer than anything. It was hard to imagine that many men touching it. It was protected still somehow. I said, "You're so soft." And she said, "I have a special beauty secret, rock star body fluids." "No way, Rave," I said. "By touching you, they're getting their power." And she just looked at me. Her eyes got really wet. I saw the tears quivering just at the rim, ready to spill over, but she wiped her eyes and laughed. "You're so nice to me," she said. "No, I'm a son of a bitch," I said, and we both laughed, a laugh like salt water and sand on a cut.